What is going on, guys? It is Ahmed, and I'm here today to discuss ACORX. I know this has been covered by quite a few YouTubers already. Again, people on the internet have talked about how this is actually a great investment opportunity. But again, I kind of want to talk about the pharmacist perspective for the product that they are currently both manufacturing and distributing. So again, ACORX is a company that is looking at expanding and creating opioid pain analgesics. And the one that they're focused on right now, and they do have an FDA approved product for, is sufentanil, which I'll talk about in just a little bit. But again, guys, my videos are not for financial or medical advice, so please do your own due diligence, do your own research, ask your doctor before ever taking any medical advice from the internet. And also, please feel free to join my Discord down below. You get a free Discord. It's no charge to anyone, and I truly believe it's been a great place for people to have dialogues, to talk about all things investing. And again, all I ask is for you to just be respectful and be in there, go in and understand that there's people who are financial advisors and individuals who are just in there as starting stock investors. Also, I do have my Webull link below. It helps out the channel quite a bit, and you do get 4 free stocks if you do join with the link below if you deposit $100. Now, ACORX. So again, this has been covered by quite a few YouTubers, but this company really interested me. Again, I know the opioid crisis of America is currently something that is pretty sensitive to a lot of people. Again, we have seen the epidemic and pandemic really with the opioid crisis kind of, especially in the late 2000s I should say, late 2008, 2009, 2010, and early, even through now, we know that we're currently battling a crisis, and this product therefore had some controversy before it was FDA approved. So what I like about this company is, first and foremost, I always look at the company's management. So Pamela Palmer, this is the Chief Medical Officer and co-founder. We also have Vincent Agatari, and then these other people who are part of their finance team. But the fact that she is the Chief Medical Officer and co-founder, I was interested to know more about her story. So again, she's an MD PhD. So again, just by credentials, she did get her medical doctorate, which she got from Stanford. And after she finished her medical studies, she decided to go on because she was so interested in the brain and intrigued. And you could see her, she did go to University of California, San Francisco. Again, very reputable university. She went on and completed a PhD after medical school in neuroscience at UCSF. So again, to me that was impressive, and I wanted to kind of know more about the company. But then looking backwards, I was like, wow, she seems like a very, very well-established doctor, very young by image. Again, it looks like co-founded in 2005. So the company's not even that old, guys, for a pharmaceutical company. So again, Dr. Palmer gained extensive experience in the treatment of pain during her tenure as director of UCSF Pain Center for Advanced Research and Education from 2005 to 2009, during which time the American Pain Society named the UCSF Pain Management Center and Pain Care jointly as one of only 6 centers of excellence nationwide. So again, this lady right here, Dr. Pamela Palmer, much respect to her because, just based off her track record, she has done really good things so far in her career, aside from creating, this pharmaceutical company and co-founding it. So what is the product that they are focused on in ACORX? It is sufentanil, guys. Again, to everyone that knows and has experienced, anyone who went through, an opioid addiction or, issues with an opioid medication, understand that I am also with you. I know as a pharmacist, we are battling the opioid crisis each and every day. We dispense naloxone. A lot of states have actually given authority to pharmacists to help battle the opioid epidemic, we'll call it for now, the opioid crisis, by allowing us to prescribe naloxone to patients who receive outpatient opioid treatment. So again, sufentanil, the one I'll be talking about today, is only used in hospital settings under direct medical provider supervision. It's not something that you're going to give someone outpatient because, again, it is very, very toxic, and it's very easy to overdose on if given, it's more potent than what we know as fentanyl, right? We know about fentanyl patches, we know about other opioids, but sufentanil, guys, is extremely, extremely potent, but it is very, very good at what it does as long as it's used properly in the right setting. So I went through and kind of looked at it. Again, it's a Schedule 2 medication, being basically the highest schedule for a medication is Schedule 1, but Schedule 2 medications are the highest schedule for a medication that is, prescribable, something that a patient can receive from a doctor as a prescription, whether it's inpatient or outpatient. Regardless, it's the highest level of surveillance, basically, for a prescription. Now, the medication I've been mentioning is sufentanil, which they have an FDA-approved product for, which is Disuvia. So again, Disuvia is actually a sublingual formulation for sufentanil. And that's what intrigued me and interested me quite a bit, is the fact that it's sublingual. And guys, this is a 3-minute video. You can go on their website to watch it, but I want to give you guys just a quick snippet about how and what sufentanil does in the body, because they do a very good job of explaining it here. So let's turn this up and play.
Placing an IV line can be time-consuming and can result in delayed and often inconsistent pain relief. Administering oral opioids can also result in delayed analgesia due to slow intestinal drug absorption. An opioid analgesic is only effective when it crosses the blood-brain barrier and interacts with neuronal pain receptors. A delay in the onset of analgesia and increased potential for dose stacking and drug accumulation is due to slow plasma-brain equilibration from drugs like morphine and hydromorphone. Active metabolites of these drugs can accumulate in the plasma and may lead to delayed and unpredictable side effects.
Namely constipation.
Frequent redosing in order to maintain therapeutic plasma drug levels can also occur with drugs which have a short half-life and rapid exit time from the plasma following IV administration. There is an unmet need for a non-invasively administered opioid analgesic characterized by rapid brain equilibration, no active metabolites, and a duration of effect that reduces the need for frequent redosing. Sublingual sufentanil is a novel alternative to IV and oral opioids that potentially addresses this unmet need. Sublingual sufentanil is placed under the tongue where it creates a depot. There is minimal taste or sensation, so the salivary response is limited. Due to its high lipophilicity and the limited salivary response, sublingual sufentanil is rapidly absorbed into the plasma. This results in rapid penetration through the blood-brain barrier and a much shorter plasma-brain equilibration half-life than morphine or hydromorphone, 6.2 minutes.
And that's where I'll stop it there. 6.2 minutes, guys. That is pretty ridiculous to how fast, how fast it reaches plasma-brain equilibrium relative to morphine. And I think it had hydromorphone as the other example, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So again, those are some of the conventional things. You might know them as Dilaudid if you're someone who works in a hospital setting. Again, IV morphine. So basically, again, the thing that gives this competitive advantage over other opioids that are currently being used for IV or epidural anesthesia is the fact that this here is a formulation that comes in a sublingual form, guys. So when I think of sublingual forms, the things that I see in the outpatient setting, not to do with opioids, is, for example, nitroglycerin. So nitroglycerin is something that we give patients who have something, a diagnosis or history of angina. Angina, again, is basically when there's an imbalance between oxygen demand and oxygen supply. So nitro tabs can really help someone quite a bit, especially if their oxygen the supply is not meeting the demand. They'll take a sublingual nitroglycerin, put it under the tongue, which will quickly dilate it's a vasodilator, so it will dilate their vessels, which in turn will allow their body to get the oxygen that they need. So again, when it comes to that formulation, for nitroglycerin, you need something that's going to be quick acting. That's the whole point of it. It's something that's immediate acting. So within minutes of administering it, again, just a few minutes, you should start having noticeable effects. Same thing with the sublingual sufentanil. So again, I truly think the fact that how fast this works, yes, there is huge problems that can potentially rise with this kind of medication. But again, what we always want to kind of weigh is the risk versus benefit ratio. So I know for one of the things that ASORX has is they have a Department of Defense. So they're actually working with the United States Department of Defense, and they have contracts with them because, again, they're using their product in for the military, people who are out and in active duty, basically. Because what better to help treat, for example, and I don't mean to use such a severe, extreme example, but a soldier's out on the field and he gets a limb, blown off or something, that's kind of extreme, or a bullet through the arm. So you need something that's quick to help him relieve the pain, and nothing better than, a fast-acting narcotic, a sublingual sufentanil. And again, guys, I understand that this is controversial, and I think, again, this comes with a lot of setbacks, but we have to always look, again, what do the benefits outweigh the risks. So for this product, again, I really think that there is some pretty huge potential in certain populations. So emergency department, as you see here for Dusuvia, that is currently, again, the ER, inpatient settings, post-operative pain management. So they say here, acute pain is really the big thing that it's used for. Now, I understand that people who use this for acute pain can then, again, what you do is, that's why they have pharmacists a part of these teams in hospital settings, especially in pain management, is you will start them on Dusuvia or a sublingual sufentanil, and then transition them to a smaller and smaller dose until they leave the hospital setting. Even if they're in the ER, same thing. Start them on something like this to give them that immediate action, but at the same time thereafter, we'll transition them, because this is only used in those settings. For outpatient, or people who want to go pick up a prescription in the pharmacy, you're not going to find Dusuvia. That's something we can never dispense as outpatient or community pharmacists. So again, if we look at some of the side effects, it matches what we know about opioids in general. So again, accidental exposure and Dusuvia REMS program. So again, they have a REMS program, which is a risk mitigation program. And basically those come into place for medications that are extremely, extremely dangerous. They have a small, what we call a therapeutic window. So the lethal dose, to the point where it can literally kill a patient, versus the therapeutic dose, there's a small window where it becomes very dangerous. So that's why for Dusuvia right now, this product is only administered under direct medical supervision, and they're the only ones who can actually administer it, either a doctor or someone who is trained to do so. So understand, again, addiction, abuse, and respiratory depression. That's what we worry about with every single patient who's on an opioid, is respiratory depression. That's when we hear about, opioid overdoses, or people who take, things like Vicodin or Percocet. The reason that we know, or we see people have overdoses, is because of the respiratory depression that occurs. Because after a certain dose, and some of the things that Dusuvia has, it doesn't have this accumulation of the drug because it has such a short half-life, is that, again, when it comes to this medication, we see quick dose accumulation for opioids in the body, and therefore people start having side effects, again, outside of the constipation and things that are very well known with opioids. They start having things like respiratory depression where they can't breathe. And that's why I talked about naloxone first thing in the video, and that's how we're combating the opioid crisis, is we're giving pretty much everyone that is willing to have it on hand a naloxone nasal spray, or Narcan. It's something you just spray in the nose in case of an overdose. And it's not something you would administer yourself. Rather, you'd have a family member or a friend that lives with you, whatever it might be, someone aware that you're on this medication. Again, not Dusuvia, but an opioid. Because ultimately, I think what we'll see typically with Dusuvia, and again, I haven't seen it actually being prescribed, is someone will get this medication in a hospital setting, say post-operative, or instead of an IV, just something short-term in the emergency department, and then they'll write them a prescription for a more potentially chronic use opioid, something like, I'm hoping not too chronic, but again, maybe a week supply, a month supply of something like a Vicodin or Percocet. So again, guys, really, I think the big thing that sparked people's interest is the fact that what analysts are rating this ASORX or ACRX's stock. The fact that it has a $7 price target currently for the next 12 months. And guys, that's not, you can't take that lightly. 3 are saying it's a strong buy, 0 are saying it's a sell. And again, these are guys who are in Wall Street. These are the people that know what they're doing with these stocks. So what does that present to all of us as people who are, just retail investors? A buying opportunity, in my opinion. So if we look at the 1 month, I know it did kind of see some price action, all the way up to 92% over the month. And again, a lot of people have been covering it, guys, because again, Wall Street Analyst have it on the radar, so it's been all over the YouTube space as well. But I think what we saw this past week with the market bleeding, this decrease to $2.13, now $2.15 in the aftermarket, I think this is what we consider a strike price. It's time for anyone who hasn't gotten in, that's interested in doing more research, please look into the company, because I think we're seeing and it's presenting a buying opportunity. What am I going to do? Come tomorrow, I'm going to try to buy in as long as we don't see anything, substantial increase in price in the pre-market or the market open. I'm looking to hopefully start a position in ASORX because, again, the analysts believe in it. I think that their product and the management team that they have are some magnificent people. And again, what the analysts are rating it at $7, I think regardless, at a low $5. So you're looking at it, pretty easy 2x. So it could be one of those get in and get out. And again, I am someone who empathizes and sympathizes with anyone that has dealt with the opioid crisis. Again, if it's something that has happened close to home, I do apologize. And again, I really hope that soon, and that's what I'm looking to cover next, is a product that is going to be in the market in place of these opioid analgesics in the acute pain setting. I think that's where we're going to hopefully see a paradigm shift, but we're still waiting these pharmaceutical companies to create such product. As always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, keep investing.